Hello and welcome to my channel. This will be my very first unboxing video. I recently went on vacation, and when I came back, the mailman brought me a present, and that present is from, as you can see, Rapido trains. And so I thought I'd do a little video, a little unboxing of what I got, and yeah, do a little review for Rapido trains. And I guess one thing I want to say before I start is that I'm a huge Rapido trains fan. They're a uniquely Canadian company, and I think it's awesome what they do, how they promote the hobby with their crazy videos. And it's just, I know it's not a lot. It's a bit much for some model railroaders out there, but for me, I think it's awesome. I think it promotes the hobby really well, and I hate not to sound like an old man, but we need some more youth into the hobby, and I mean, maybe, who knows, their videos might bring some youth to the hobby. But anyways, just a little plug for them. Really want them to do an N-scale SW1200 RS, so if anyone from Rapido is watching, I really want that locomotive. Anyways, so this actually model that I purchased off of Rapido is their GMD FP9A, and I ordered the Via Rail, I believe 14 for 14, but we'll see that when we open the box. And I'm really excited about that, because it's not a Fubi. It's a true Canadian locomotive, true Canadian Via Rail, or sorry, passenger locomotive that was built pretty much specifically for CN, CP, and then Via. So it's really cool. So anyways, let's get started in the unboxing. So this is what it came in, and it's decent. I mean, it's packaged very well. I can feel the nuggets in there, whatever they call the styrofoam peanuts in there. And I know an N-scale locomotive box is only about this big, so it's really protected. And I've ordered a few things off Rapido since they started, and I'm going to say this is the first one that I've seen this tape on, and I think it's pretty snappy that they did that. Remember the order deadline, and it's got Rapido trains written all over it, and they got their website, facebook.com, Rapido trains, and they got this dude on there. No idea who that is. If anyone knows who that is, say it in the comments. And then watch our silly videos, just like I was saying, watch our silly videos. So yeah, anyways, that's well packed. So I'm gonna open it up here and try not to cut myself on live video. There we go. See a lot of people doing these videos, and I'm always like, how do they do them and unbox and stuff like that without hurting themselves? Because I catch myself looking into the video instead of looking at the thing that I'm opening, and so I wonder if it's the same way. But anyways, here it goes. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, there's all the peanuts. Oh, get rid of those. Just dump those onto the thing here. Oh yeah, it's even wrapped in bubble wrap. That's awesome. So yeah, it's really protected, so really good shipping job. A+ on the shipping job. So I'll just move that over there. Peanuts. Get the knife out of the way so I don't stab myself. Okay, get rid of these. Perfect. Alright, there's the bubble wrap. So I'll take the bubble wrap off. Open up. Okay, there we go. That is a nice little case. Put the bubble wrap in there. Yeah, it's a nice little case. Nice shiny little cardboard sleeve. Rapido trains, quality style spirit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, CP FP9A Via Rail Canada number 1414. So yeah, it started out as CP Rail 1414, and then when Via Rail took over, it became Via Rail 1414. So I believe, well, here, we'll open it up. So pop the jewel case out of the sleeve. It's a really nice sleeve. And wow. Wow, that looks really nice. That is really nice. Really nice paint. Even through in the box. Wow, that's beautiful. That's a nice case. Okay, here we go. I'll pop that open. And see, yeah, they've switched. In the GMD1 case, it was like a plastic. It had a plastic sleeve, and this is more like what Atlas does with this styrofoam or foam sleeve. And then yeah, it looks like it has some detailed parts here. Oh yeah, what the heck? Oh yeah, some extra wheel. Huh, interesting. And ditch lights, extra ditch lights, looks like it. Or maybe I have to put those on. I'll find out. Maybe. Oh no, it's got ditch lights on there. Yeah, so. And then some handrails. Yeah, just some extra parts. Nose headlight. Looks like these look like nose headlight things. There's little clear things. I don't know if you can see those in there. Yeah, little nose headlight thingies. And that's for the back. That's just for the door in the back. Yeah, okay. Alright. Alright, let's go. Let's see if I can get this out without nice and clean. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna flip it over and give it a little tap. Let the model fall out. And so it's not on my dirty. Oops. So it's actually no. I'm gonna put this down, and then I'm gonna take this and move it aside, and then put this here on there, and wow, wow, wow. Rapido, you have outdone yourself. Wow, look at that. Look at that detail. Look at that. Got something to point with. Wow. Nice. Nice paint job. Use this one actually. Let's just hold that there. That's really nice. I like that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it down. And I'm going to bring the camera to it. Okay. Alright. So yeah, that's some nice roof detail. Authentic FP9A roof detail. Yeah, see, like they got the, what is it? The plate here. That's where the roof-mounted light would have been on if this was a CP unit. And I believe these are water piping or coolant piping, I believe. And that's the CP version. That's the tall version of the winterization hatch. And this is the steam generator unit specific to CP. And of course, it's because it's in VIA will have it now. VIA plated over the rooftop light. That's what I forgot to mention. And the correct horn and the Sinclair antenna. The dynamic brake fan. But yeah, look at that. Look at that detail. Oops. Let's zoom in on there. Like they got the eyebrow, grab irons, ditch lights. That was yeah, the ditch lights. Yeah, 1414. Marker lights. Marker lights right there. That's a nice headlight. You can see that looks like a. That's nice. Windshield wipers. Paint job is crisp. Yeah. The grills. Love the grills. Etched. I think those are those. I'm not sure. Maybe they are etched metal, but I'm not sure. But they look nice. Got a see-through look to them. Nice, clear. Nice. Very nice. I like it. We'll look at a lot. Nice, the big water tank, the CP rail specific water tank underneath the fuel tank. They got all the what's it call it? They got all the piping on there. Very nice. It looks like this has a rubber tire on it. That's interesting. The other one may have a rubber tire on it, well, or maybe it's just dirty. I don't know, maybe it has a rubber tire on it. Interesting, I didn't think, that's interesting. It's the other side, and it's the same side. Interesting. Well, there's the engine. Okay, well, just going to take out the instructions. I'll bring my stand back. I'll take out the instructions. Let's get that locomotive in sight. It's a very nice model. I am very impressed. Really interested in that rubber tire. Okay, let's just, I'm opening the box here. I'm going to get out the instructions. Let's see what Rapido has to say about this model. All right. Yeah, thank you for purchasing the uniquely Canadian General Motors Diesel Division GMDD General Motors Diesel Division FP9A locomotive. We're very proud of this model, and we hope that you are just as happy with it as we are. As always, please don't hesitate to contact us should there be anything wrong with your model. Warranty stuff, missing parts. It's really cool. Actually, really something else really cool about Rapido is I purchased sound GMD1 off a guy the other day, and like I had the video about, and the other video on my channel, and so I noticed there was the spark arrestor was missing, and so I contacted Rapido, and I was asking him a question about the decoder, because it seemed like the decoder was locked and I couldn't figure out how to unlock it. But anyways, I asked him about the spark arrestor, and they sent me a spark arrestor in the mail. No charge. Didn't even charge me for mail or for post. So, good job. Good quality customer service. Get it running, break in. Back to the instructions. Your GMDD FP9A needs to be broken in. Run it around the test track for an hour. Blah blah blah. You know, it doesn't say anything. It's typical stuff, but doesn't say anything about that traction tire, that rubber tire on there. And as typical, this, like I said, comes out of the factory, programmed to unit number 3. So we're going to put it on the layout, and we're going to bring it up as unit number 3 to test up all the sounds. But I'm going to have to download the decoder. I believe it comes with an ESU sound decoder. No more information. It must be all on the website. All the information must be on the website. I should have downloaded it, so I could have checked, but it doesn't say. Pretty sure it's an ESU sound decoder. And I'm not certain if they use their original FP9A recorded sounds for the HO model. I could think that would be out of date, or the sound quality would be better these days, so they maybe would have replaced it. But if anyone knows, I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. Anyways, yeah, so here we go. We'll put it out on the layout and give her a go. Maybe see what happens with that, with the traction tires. So, all right, see you in a few. So here we are at the layout. Before we get going, I just wanted to report a little bit of a technical difficulty with the locomotive. I put it on the track, and it didn't run very well. It was kind of sputtering, and so I took a look at the wheels and noticed the wheels were dirty. Cleaned the wheels, put it back on the track, Was kept on sputtering, ran it for a little while, seemed to be doing okay, but then when I got it down to regular speed, it was still kind of sputtering. So I checked the wheel gauge on the wheels, and I noticed that the wheels were a little bit tight. Decided that I'm just going to open up the trucks and get at the wheels and put them back into gauge, or get them into gauge. And then doing that, I discovered that there was still a little bit of, factory oil in amongst the wheels. So I think that's what was impacting the electrical conductivity of from the rails to the wheels. So got them all cleaned up, and at the same time, I decided I was going to swap out that traction tire, because I'm not really interested in the traction tire. I'm not going to be pulling very long passenger trains up big grades, so I'm not too concerned. And if I ever do someday, I'll just open it up again and put it back on. But for now, I'm going to take out the traction tire, and I think that will also, well, not I think, it will also improve the electrical pickup of the locomotive. Getting it apart was easy. Easy enough, I guess. Taking the shell off, I believe, is the same as with their FL9, with Rapido's FL9 unit. You just undo the coupler, the front coupler, which is this side, and then you can pry the shell sides open, and then the chassis will just kind of work its way out. There's a couple of clips that need to be, disengaged. I think you can see them at the edges there. There's one on that side there, and then one on that side there. So once you get the shell pried open enough, it will disengage those clips, and then the chassis will just fall down, and then yeah. So I'm gonna get this thing back together, pick up the wheels I just dropped on the floor, and because I got her all cleaned up, and gonna get her back on the track with power and see how that helped. Okay, see you in a bit. So here we are again at the layout. I got her all back together again, and I discovered that it actually wasn't the wheels that were the problem. I don't know if you can see it from here, but inside there's a little brass clip, or little brass pickups. So I got the engine all cleaned up where I thought it was all cleaned up, and I added a little bit of this the Noox IDA special grease. It's an electrical conduct improver, where the wheels, there's the axle meets the bronze phosphor tab inside the truck. So I did that, and I put a little bit on the truck, on the wheels themselves, and I ran it around the layout, and it seemed to be doing okay. But then I noticed in a few spots on my layout, in a tunnel, of course, it stalled. And then at the top of this hill right here, it stalled. And then couldn't figure out why, because all my other locomotives were running really well, and I did a test. I tested it with one of my other locomotives, and sure enough, it ran through all the spots, no problem. But what I discovered is that that little tab in there, like I said, that I don't know if you can see it, I had to push it down a bit, because I don't know when it was maybe when it was put together at the factory, it was just a little bit off or whatever, but I had to push it down with a little jeweler's screwdriver. Like, I was able to get at it and push it down, and that seemed to help out immensely. So yeah, no, it's really nice runner. It's super quiet, nice slow speed performance, but I'm gonna get the shell back on, and I'll run it through the paces again with the video, and you'll see yeah, how well it runs. I'm quite excited to show it off, so I'll be back. And here we're back once more at the layout. So I got the shell back on, as you can see, and I'll do a quick demonstration of its functions. But first, I'll just want to say that I thought I had the technical difficulties figured out. with the locomotive by pushing down on those brass tabs like I was saying before, but when I got the shell back on, it seemed to go back to doing what it was doing before. So took it apart again, fortunately, and kind of fiddled around with it. You know, took another look at another run at the wheels, make sure there was no dirt on the wheels. But anyways, got it back all together again. Everything seems to be okay, and then got the shell back on, and it seems to run just fine now. I'll just have to keep an eye out for that. Rapido, they have a really great warranty, so if I for some reason can't figure out, or if it does it again and I can't figure out why it's doing it, I might just contact Rapido and see what they can do for me. But for the time being, the locomotive seems to run okay. So anyway, so you notice that it's sputtering away when you first put the locomotive on the track and start up the power, and maybe I'll do a little quick demo of that. Oh, before I move into that, there's a couple things I wanted to point out that I missed from the original unboxing segment of the video. That there, if you can kind of see it if I zoom in all the way. But there's a detailed cab interior in there. So, you know, for those of you that are ambitious, I don't know if I'm one of them just yet, but probably put a little N-scale guy in there, a little engineer in that locomotive interior there. So that's pretty cool. And also what else is pretty cool is hopefully you can see, I'll just adjust the camera a little bit. Rapido actually attached the MU hoses and the train line air hoses to the front and to the back of this model. So this is a, you know, totally maxed out, detailed engine. It's truly a work of art, regardless of my issues of getting it up and going. The model is beautiful. Really on par. I mean, I would say even more so than the GMD one that I have. I have the sound version of their original 2014 release, and I mean, even that model is beautiful. But this one this takes the cake. I mean, with, you know, the operating headlight and ditch lights, like, and which I'll show in a moment here. But you know, just a beautiful model. So yeah. So let's get started here. So like I said, you'll notice it sputters away. It does a little bit of whenever you turn on the power to your layout, it kind of does a little bit of a startup. I wouldn't call it a sequence, it just kind of makes a noise when you turn on the power to your layout. So I'm just going to do that as a demonstration. So I'll just cut the power and then I'll plug my controller back in. By the way, I'm using a NCE power cab controller. I don't know if you can see that. NCE power cab. It's I love this controller. If anyone is looking into getting into DCC, this is a great starter controller, especially if you have, I see it, that makes that noise. I see it clicked in, powered up, and the running board, the number boards actually fire up when your power on your layout powers up. So anyways, a little interesting. Maybe there's a way to change that so it doesn't do that, but I'll have to do that later when I get a little bit further into the DCC manual for this locomotive. Anyways, so yeah, so what was I saying? Oh, the DCC controller that I have, the NCE controller, is a really great little handy controller, and if you have a small to medium-sized layout, it's perfect. I can run 4 locomotives or 2 consisted sets of locomotives at the same time without really any problems. Nothing overheats. The controller doesn't get too hot. Everything is pretty good, and I have a 3x7 foot layout, or 3x8 foot layout. So yeah, anyways, a little bit of information about the controller I have. But as you saw, the number boards have turned on, so I'm just going to go ahead and turn those off. There you go. So yeah, so I'm going to do the startup sequence for the locomotive by pressing F8. we go. So this is how it sounds coming out of the box. I haven't adjusted any of the sounds. And one of that other sound, that was a air compressor that you were hearing. It goes off periodically, and I'll see. You might hear it again. There's air release. That's also a sound that just goes off periodically. And so I'm going to turn on the headlights. There's the headlight. And turn it off. And then I'll turn on the ditch lights by pressing F6. Let's see, there's the air compressor. And then I'll turn on the classification lights by pressing F9. That's a pretty cool feature, I love that. And then I will press F10 to turn on the number boards again. I think that sound we're hearing is the steam generator. And then there's the bell. Turn the headlight on. Horn. Let the air compressor run through, and then I'll turn on the Doppler effect horn. It's pretty cool. I don't really use it that much. I see how it would be cool if you're at a show or something. There's a Doppler horn. So pretty cool. I'm going to turn off the class lights. Okay. And I'll move it to the end there. I'll zoom out a bit here. And I'll move the locomotive in the reverse direction. Before I go there, the loco, it has a backup light. I guess I'll move the camera. The backup light can be turned on by pressing F13. Let's see if we can see that. Saw that. It turns on and off. But interestingly enough, if the backup light is on, the headlight won't turn on. Makes sense. Turn that off. Put the camera back. So yeah, I think it sounds pretty good. Just sitting there gurgling away with the random sounds that it plays. There's the air compressor again. So we'll just back it up. A little bit of a drive-by here. I really like the way it sounds. Speaker seems pretty decent. I think the speaker is actually better. Maybe it's just the placement better than the GMD1. Cool. There we have it. It's a good little local. I just demonstrated this. I did check, and this is a Lux sound decoder, and it has the drive hold feature on it. So I'll just demonstrate that right now. So if you press F3, if the locomotive was moving, it would keep that speed, but because it's parked, obviously it's not going to go anywhere. Now I'm going to use the thumb wheel on the controller, and the engine is going to rev up in the notches, and it'll just sit there. So this is handy if you're getting started in the station. You're going to go notch up, big heavy load. Yeah, so there you have it. I might adjust that compressor sound. I think it's a little bit too loud. But other than that, other than the little finicky thing that I had with the power loss in certain parts, overall I think this is a great engine. It's a great locomotive. It's a good buy for any passenger locomotive fan, VRL fan. So yeah, good job, Rapido. And so maybe I'll do another one of these. I'll probably try to keep it a little shorter. But hey, it's my first one, so cut me some slack. All right, have a nice one.